absolutely love this novel, but I have to say this time around I read it as a tragedy. Reader, I married him. That struck me as a tragic line as opposed to a romantic line. I saw a bunch of horses with a bunch of dogs heading along a trail on the other side of these trees, fox hunting style, and I wonder if they haven't cornered something. They are definitely baying. Our path lies that way, across those stones. You can hear the hounds baying. They're coming for me. Hey, Stunt Reader here. Thought I might do a video of me in the woods today to talk a little bit more about Jane Eyre, but not as a writer looking for tips, but just as a person. It reads more as a coming-of-age novel where there are episodes, discrete episodes, and with each one the protagonist learns something, takes something, adds something to his or her person, to Jane. You know, you have the episode with the Reeds, the episode at the Lowood School, the episode at Thornfield, and then the episode at Moor's Head with her cousins. And at each of these stages, she makes good decisions. She shows her character, shows her mettle, and moves forward, moves on, including from Thornfield. I do have my mask, just had to put my mask on while some people crossed the stone bridge behind me. I think with Rochester in particular, she makes the right call when he reveals himself for who he truly is. And she says, I care for myself. The more solitary I am, the more friendless I am, the more unsustained I am, the more I will respect myself. And that is absolutely the right line and the right attitude. And one of my favorite lines in the book is probably also said at the same time, said to Rochester when he's trying to tempt her to just be his mistress, go with him to France, to Paris. And she says no. She says, laws and principles are not for the times when there is no temptation. They are for moments such as this, when body and soul rise in mutiny against their rigor. Stringent they are, inviolate they shall be. Just saw, I think, an owl. Hopefully it won't mind me yammering on about Jane Eyre and how disappointed I am in Jane. At every point she makes the right decision, and including with St. John, her cousin who wants to marry her, she makes the right call. She knows that he doesn't love her the way she wants and deserves to be loved. She knows she doesn't truly love him. So Jane has made every proper decision. Why does she, with St. John, with her cousin, why does she need a sign to tell her that this isn't right for her? Why does she need to hear that cry from Rochester, that supernatural cry from across the distance? And she even thinks to herself, I could go to a city. I could go somewhere else and try to immerse myself in society and meet people that way. But that sounds hard, is basically what she says, and that I find that disappointing. She is an independent woman of means at this point. She has received a fortune of £20,000, and she divvied it up with her cousins. Fair enough, good on her. So £5,000, which is still a vast fortune. If her annual salary as a governess was £15, now she doesn't have any expenses, room and board, or anything like that. So let's add 15 for room, 15 for board, and another 15 for expenses if she's living in a town. And then let's say she wants to live in London, and we'll double that, £120 per year to live comfortably. If she has £5,000 at 5% interest, she could draw £250 a year without touching the principal and set herself up very comfortably. And she could very easily take 1,000 of that, treat herself to a year in Paris, improving her already very good artistic skills, her drawing and painting skills, and then another year with that same 1,000. I think 1,000 would go a long way. Another year in Italy and Greece, touring the museums and painting the ruins and developing herself, developing her skills, her talents that she's demonstrated. But she could have gone in a very different direction, but instead she chooses to go back to Rochester, which just kind of baffles me. And it especially baffles me because Charlotte Bronte herself did not take that route. So I do find it a little baffling, a little disappointing that she didn't allow her character, Jane, to pursue something similar and strike out on her own. Now, I get it. It was the 19th century and women often didn't do that. Charlotte, though, did. And perhaps Charlotte felt like that was a failing on her part, so maybe there's a little bit of wish fulfillment going on here. She didn't marry until after the novel and died while pregnant. Not due to the pregnancy, but she was pregnant when she died at 39. None of the Bronte progeny made it past 40. Charlotte was the oldest at 39. I think Charlotte kind of gives away that she's even a little disappointed with the ending, not quite convinced. I get it, it's an HEA, the happily ever after, it's kind of what people want. But you can see in that last chapter, which is only about 3 pages, where it's 10 years later and she's summing up how happy she and Rochester are. It's about a paragraph about how happy they are. Not entirely convinced. It sounds very nice. Only about a sentence on their child, which I think doesn't even get a name. So, and then the half of that chapter, though, and the end of the book is her talking about her correspondence with St. John, and almost wistfully, almost longingly talking about her cousin. I think thinking of what could have been had she gone with him, had she gone with a man who had a definite purpose, a mission in life, unlike Rochester. Now they are happy together, they see her 2 cousins and their husbands, but there's, for all their money, for all their talent, for all of their abilities, they really don't seem to have any project in life aside from being happy. And that, again, was not Charlotte. It was not Charlotte. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Is "Reader, I Married Him" a tragic line, or is it an utterly romantic line? Do you find yourself swept off your feet when she returns to him? I'd be interested to know. Leave a comment. Tell me if you agree. Jane Eyre, romance, tragedy, coming of age, all of the above. All right, I'm going to keep walking. I'm going to try to make it across here. We'll see. Wish me luck.
We made it.
So I thought I would just make maybe some videos where I'm just out and about, walking and talking about a book that I've read or a book that I'm reading, but not looking for writing tips, just reading as a normal person, as a person who is reading for pleasure or for the lessons that we get from reading, because reading allows us to enter into another world, and we always bring our own judgments, our own biases, our own perspective, and we're constantly questioning, is the character doing what he or she should be doing, or what we would do in that situation? What would we do in that situation? We're always evaluating the events and the characters as we're reading. I might call these walking while reading, or reading while walking, or something like that, but let me know if you like this format. The ones where we're looking for writing tips we'll certainly do in the office, and hopefully with some more visuals coming up. There go the fox hunters.